من فج عميق إن من أركان ديني حجة البيت العتيق.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, it's our glad and it's our honor to welcoming you in this meeting. This meeting for non-Arabic speakers for Al-Hajj. This meeting is for Al-Dhafira and Al-Ma'ali group, and for all our brothers and sisters who already make their registration for Al-Hajj. And this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have been chosen to do Al-Hajj, and Al-Hajj, it's the most important, it is important part of Islam. And as you know, we need to understand all important information and all that we should know about Al-Hajj. So if we get ready for Al-Hajj, if we read and attend lecture like this, and ask questions about Al-Hajj, inshallah, we will be ready more, and we will, inshallah, be able to do Al-Hajj as the Sunnah, following the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. As you know, this is maybe for many of you, this is the first time. This is the Hajjat al-Islam. So we need to be attention. We need to be more carefully to do it as it should be done. So this is a program for non-Arabic speakers. This is the first one. This is actually the part of many sessions that we will establish, and we have been established actually this month. So inshallah, this is the first one, and we have more. So we have meeting also for the week next week, and we have also also two more meeting. It should be Friday at the same time, and you can ask questions during this after the end of this lecture, and I want to thank Sheikh of Dr. Sulaiman for accepting to be part of our program and accepting to present this important lecture. And inshallah, he has all the information you need about this Fariḍa. And after he finishing his lecture, you can ask him about any questions, and inshallah, it will be a good lecture for you, and inshallah, Dr. Sulaiman will present a clear and understood information. Thank you for all for attending, and thank you, Dr. Sulaiman, for coming and for accepting presenting this lecture. Dr. Sulaiman, you can start, inshallah.
Inshallah. جزاك الله خيرا أستاذ إبراهيم. شكرا شيخ. Is my voice clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, طيب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. جزاكم الله خيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I'll start my lecture and I'll cover a few points. Inshallah, introduction and key highlights, and Hajj at a glance, intention and ihram, some details on the Hajj, and then a conclusion. So first we start in the name of Allah, and we ask Allah to send salam on the Prophet and his family and companions. And want to acknowledge that this program is organized by Dafira and Amahali Hajj and Umrah Company for non-Arabic speakers. And we thank them. And we also thank Sheikh Dr. Khalid Khudair for overseeing these arrangements. So may Allah make this meeting beneficial for us all. So you've all, I'm sure, read about Hajj and about the rituals of Hajj. So we just want to cover a few points, and we're using in this presentation few resources. One, the excellent book prepared by Sheikh Talal Akil and published by Ministry of Hajj. We will send it for you, a PDF copy. Hajj Umrah Ziyara by Sheikh Bin Baz, and details of Hajj, rights and Hajj and Umrah by Sheikh Fawzan, and a video by Sheikh Usman Khamis, and also another one, How Can I Perform Hajj by Sheikh Dr. Al-Umar Al-Shayidi. So these are our main resources. So before we start the description of Hajj, we want to cover a few important points. First, the Hajj is all about Tawheed, about making worship sincere for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the whole purpose of Hajj, and it's a main pillar of Hajj. It's one of the 5 pillars. In addition, the Hajj can be seen from multiple perspectives. It's a celebration of the sincere worship of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family. It's a celebration of the universal brotherhood of Islam. It's a reminder of the ultimate gathering on the Day of Judgment. So all of these are ways to look at the Hajj. But primarily, it's all about Tawheed and making worship sincere for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as we said, it's the 5th pillar of Islam, and the benefits are well known. When you do the Hajj properly, you go back as if, you return as if you are born anew, like when you were just born, clean of all sins. So it's very important to aim for Hajj Mabrur, to aim for sincere accepted Hajj, because after that, all sins are forgiven. And if you continue that route, inshallah, that is the road for Jannah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of us to get Hajj Mabrur. The conditions that make Hajj obligatory on a person: first, being Muslim and being of sound mind and reaching puberty, bulugh, and freedom, not being a slave, and ability, both physical and financial. So anyone who doesn't have any of these, is not obligatory on him. If he doesn't have physical ability or financial ability, then it's not obligatory on him. There are some rules for setting out for Hajj. These are just guidelines before you go for Hajj to help you make a very successful Hajj. There are some things you do before. The intention, the pilgrimage should be solely for seeking Allah's approval, not for worldly reason, not for any worldly reasons. Preparation you prepare by settling your debts, writing your will, returning entrusted items, because you don't know. In the past, people go for Hajj and don't come back. They die on the way, or they die in the Hajj. So you prepare all these things as if you may not come back. Now, alhamdulillah, things are safer, better, safer than before. And repentance, to repent from past sins and committed, and then you make sincere intention to avoid them. And restitution, to return the unjust taken properly, to compensate for wrongs and seek forgiveness. Financial purity, to make sure the wealth you use is halal wealth. Someone cannot go and do gambling and win from gambling and go for Hajj. That money is not lawful. Understanding the rights, which is what we are doing now, and choosing the companions for the journey, and family consciousness, being conscious of Allah and fulfill familiar responsibilities. So these are some things you can do before Hajj to help you get a good Hajj. And during the Hajj, important to avoid harm. Hajj doesn't mean you do anything to achieve the Hajj. In the way you also avoid harming others, and being attentive, fulfilling all duties, increase acts of worship, and being kind to others, and good morals, maintaining good morals as patience, forgiveness, kindness, and supplicate to make du'as continuously. These are some general guidelines for the one who is setting out for Hajj. Important point which many people confuse is the types of Hajj. First thing, there are 3 types of Hajj, and these are well established: Ifrad, Kiran, and Tamattu. What are these? Ifrad means only Hajj, and Kiran means Hajj and Umrah, but there is no break in between. You wear the same ihram. In Tamattu, there is Hajj and Umrah, but there is a break in between. You do your Umrah, finish your Umrah, then you take a break, then you do your Hajj. So in Ifrad, there is one tawaf, because you're only going for Hajj. One tawaf, one sa'i. One tawaf, one sa'i. Here there is no need for sacrifice. And this is applicable when the time is limited. I only have few days. I come the last day before Hajj. So when you have only a few days, this works very well for you. And for those who you have chance to do Umrah again. You can do Umrah again after 2-3 months, or so for you only want to do Hajj. Kiran, Hajj and Umrah with no break. So there is one tawaf for Umrah, there is one tawaf for Hajj, 7 rounds, there is one sa'i. And this sa'i you can do with the Umrah or with the Hajj, tawaf, either with the Umrah tawaf or with the Hajj tawaf. And when you do Kiran, you need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice a sheep. Why? To show appreciation, to thank Allah for allowing you to do Umrah and Hajj in one trip. Others need two trips. Now you are doing it in one trip. So for that, you sacrifice sheep. And then this is applicable when your time is limited and you might not easily you don't have chance to do Umrah again. So you want to benefit and do Umrah. For Tamattu, you do one tawaf for Umrah, one sa'i for Umrah, then one tawaf for Hajj, one sa'i for Hajj. So there's 2 sa'i for the one doing Tamattu. And here again, you sacrifice sheep because you're doing Hajj and Umrah in one trip. This is applicable for those who come from Asia, for India, Pakistan, and from Africa. They came 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance. For them, the time is very long. Mr. Azim, when we finish, please write down your questions. When we finish, then we will ask some questions. So they came weeks ahead. So for them, it's very practical to do your Umrah, come out of your Umrah, and then you are normal, just go to Haram, pray in Haram, and then when Hajj comes, you go back into your Umrah, your Ihram again for Hajj. So it's more. So this is the wisdom of Allah's hikmah. It's applicable for different people at different times, and this stays till Qiyamah. So each one knows his situation, how he finds himself, and so you choose the one that applies for you the best. All of them are acceptable. All of them are acceptable. Some say Tamattu is the best, but all of them are acceptable. So this is the same idea summarized here. So you have three types: Ifrad, Kiran, Tamattu. And there is Ihram and Mikat for all of them. And then there is Tawaf and Sa'i for the Ifrad. As I said, one Sa'i, one Tawaf. And this Sa'i can be done with Tawaf Qudum or Tawaf Ifad. And then for the Kiran, you have also one Tawaf and one Sa'i. Okay. And for the Tamattu, there is two Tawaf and two Sa'i, as I mentioned before. Just a quick glance at the Hajj, right? We'll go into details. So you have intention for Hajj and enter the state of Ihram before you have your intention. Then you at the Mikat. We'll talk about Mikat. And then you have, when you come to Makkah, you have a Tawaf Qudum, and then you have your Sa'i between Safa and Marwa. And then the Hajj days start. This can be done before, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. But the Hajj days start on the 8th of Zulhijjah. So these are the 5 Hajj days. On the 8th of Zulhijjah, also is called Yawm Tarwiyah. And then the next day, 9th of Zulhijjah, Yawm Arafah. Then the 10th, also Yawm Nahar. The 11th is the first day of Tashriq. 11, 12, 13 are Ayyam Tashriq. First day, second day, third day. Okay, these are the Hajj days. So in the Hajj, you go to Mina, and after wearing your ihram and doing you go straight to Mina, and then you spend time. You spend the night there. Then the next day you go to Arafah. And that's who's the main day, that's the main Hajj day. And then you leave Arafah by sunset, and then just after sunset, and then you go to Muzdalifah. And in Muzdalifah, you spend the night in Muzdalifah, and you collect also pebbles in Muzdalifah or in Mina. And then the next day, you sleep in Muzdalifah. Then the next day, you move and go to Mina, and then you pelt the Jamr al-Aqaba, the only one for that day. Then you sacrifice, or it can be done by coupons. Then you shave or trim your hair. Then you come to Makkah and do your Tawaf Ifada. And then you go back to Mina and spend the rest of the days in Mina. This is the Hajj rites. And the rest, the Ayyam Tashriq, you've pelt all the 3 Jamarat. The Jamaat al-Aqaba and the Wusta and the Sughra. So you pelt all of them, and then when you're leaving, you have your farewell Tawaf. So this is the Hajj in just at a glance. Now we'll go to more details, inshallah. So first you have the Rukun, the pillars of Hajj, then the Wajib and the Sunnah. And this also is very important, because the Rukun, the one who omits this Rukun of Hajj, the Hajj is negated. You didn't make Hajj. You didn't make Hajj. So it's very important to make sure you fulfill the Rukun. And then the Wajib, your Hajj is still valid if you miss any of these Wajib ones, but you have to pay a penalty, which can be fasting or sadaqah of sacrifice. And then you have the Sunnahs. The Sunnahs, you are rewarded for doing it, but not penalized for omitting it. So what are the Rukun? You have here the Ihram, intention to enter the Hajj rites, and then standing at Arafah on the 9th of Zulhijjah between Maghrib and Asr and Maghrib, and Tawaf Ifada and the Sa'i. These are the Rukun. Any of these, if any of these is missed, then the Hajj is not valid. And then the Wajib, wearing Ihram at Mikat. So if for one reason or the other, you cross the miqat without wearing ihram, then you can continue, but you have to pay penalty, or you go back to the miqat, especially if it's on land, and do it. Staying in Arafah till sunset, spending the night in Muzdalifah till the morning, except for women and the weak ones, they can go ahead, and sleeping in Mina in the 3 days of Tashriq, and stoning the Jamra al-Aqaba on the day of Eid, and all the Jamarat on the days of Tashriq, and then shaving or cutting the hair, and then Tawaf al-Wida. These are all the wajib, and then you have the sunnahs. To wear the two white pieces is sunnah. If someone has off-white, it's okay. It doesn't spoil the Hajj or Umrah. To wash the ihram, to make ghusl before entering Mecca, and for the day of Arafah, and the ihram for Hajj on the 8th of Zulhijjah from your residence. You were already in Mecca, then you wear, and then you move from there. And then Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha in Mina on the 8th of Zulhijjah, and then you sleep there and pray Fajr the next day and leave after sunrise to go to Arafah, and then stoning the Jamrat Aqaba, and then the other ones, the Sugra, Wusta on the 3 days of Tashriq, and then Zuhr, Asr at Namira Masjid, shortening the Salah and combining them. But here, when you are in Mina, you shorten but you don't combine. So these are all the sunnahs, and these are the wajib, these are the hukum. Same thing here as any of these, as I said, ihram, standing Arifah, Tawaf al-Ifada, and the Sa'i. If one neglects any of these pillars, his Hajj is incomplete. So we have to be very careful about this one, more than the others. And then the requirements of the Hajj, as we said, all of these. And neglecting one of them, you compensate by a ransom fidya, sacrificed in Makkah and given to the poor. The miqat is the official starting point of the Hajj. That's the miqat during the month of Hajj, which is Shawwal, Zulqa'dah, and the first 9 days of Zulhijjah. So for Umrah, the official starting point is the miqat at all times of the year. Okay, so it's at the miqat you make your intention for Umrah and the type of Hajj, and then you enter your ihram and start your talbiyah. That's what you do at the miqat. So here you have the miqat, you have Yalamlam, and then this is southeast of Mecca. You have Karn Manazil, that al-Irq, and then you have Dhul Hulayfa, and then you have Al-Jufa. Okay, so these are the miqat. Jeddah is not a miqat. Okay? Jeddah is not a miqat. So it says here, the Prophet said, the talbiyah of the people of Medina begins at Dhul Hulayfa, and this one here, and that is the furthest one. And the talbiyah of people of Yemen begins at Yalamlam. The talbiyah of people of Najd begins at Karn Manazil. The talbiyah of people of East begins at Adat al-Irq. And all those that come from beyond that miqat applies for them. So the intentional ihram, as we said, is a rukun. So it's a state of mind or body in which the Muslim enters before performing the Hajj, before or upon reaching the miqat, to shape, trim the nails, and remove unwanted hair, and washing the body, and removing sewn clothing, and perfuming the body before wearing the ihram, and intention, and the Muslim should make the intention for performing the Hajj or Umrah, stating their intention. In this case, it's not like other ibadah, like Salah, when you make the intention in your mind, But this one, you have to pronounce it. You have to pronounce it. And if for some reason you are not sure you might make it, then you can make a conditional Hajj or Umrah by making the sentence فَإِنْ حَبَسْنِي الْحَابِسِ فَمَحَلِّي حَيْثُ حَبَثَتْنِي. This is a condition. That is, if I'm held up, then I will release myself from where I'm held up. This is when you are not sure you might make it for some reason. So the talbiyah is recited the moment of ihram when you reach the miqat until you reach the haram or stoning of the jamal and the morning of the Eid. So you say it every now and then. So the intention, you say it, you pronounce it. So when you intending only umrah, Allahumma labbaika umrah, intending only umrah. When you intending only hajj for ifrad, Allahumma labbaika hajjan, only for hajj. When intending hajj and umrah, kiran, Allahumma labbaika umratan wa hajjan, for both. When intending hajj and umrah for tamattu, Allahumma labbaika umratan mutamatti'an biha ila al-hajj. So these are very clear what you're intending. You've said it. Okay. So according to the late Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah, if the time for hajj is long and you want to do hajj tamattu, you can only make intention for umrah at the miqat. Labbaik Allahumma labbaika umrah. Then later on, you make intention for hajj. Allahumma labbaika hajj. This is according to Sheikh bin Baz. And then the talbiyah, many of you know the talbiyah. I'm sure some of you have done umrah before. So the talbiyah is labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak labbaik, innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. Okay, that's the talbiyah. And then you say it a lot. And then for men, they say it loudly. For women, they say it softly. Okay, for women, they say it softly. And this talbiyah is tawheed. It's tawheed. Here am I, O Allah. Here am I. Here am I. You have no partner. Here am I. Verily, all praise and blessings are yours, and all sovereignty, and you have no partner. Okay, this is a pure tawheed. So the prohibitions during the ihram, some apply for men, and some apply for women, and some apply for men and women. For those for women, she must be accompanied by a mahram who meets the condition. If she begins to menstruate during Hajj, she should continue and do all the rituals except tawaf. So the menstruation doesn't stop, doesn't spoil her Hajj. She only has to postpone the tawaf. A woman should not raise her voice during talbiyah. Okay, and some apply for both men and women. One additional one is no marriage contract. No marriage contract for yourself or for someone else. You don't make marriage, you don't propose, or you propose for someone during Hajj. So some things are allowed in Hajj. Wearing sandals, carrying an umbrella if it's hot, wearing a belt to put your belongings, take a shower, and wearing glasses and rings and watches. And if you have a wound, bandaging a wound, all of these are allowed. It doesn't spoil your ihram. Some details on the Hajj. The tawaf, like I said, some of you have done tawaf umrah before, but we'll just cover briefly. The starting point, first for the men, you should wear to the ittiba, means you leave the right shoulder uncovered, and the women should uncover her face, their face, and then to do the circle around the Kaaba, but make sure you go around the hijr, not inside the hijr. But now you don't even have chance to do it now because there are security there, and then you cannot do it in the Hijr. But it has to be outside the Hijr. And then you go round it, and then the corner just before the black stone. This one, if you are by it, you can touch it. Otherwise, you just pass it. You don't wave it. You don't wave to it. You just pass. So when you go round, and as you get to the Hijr, this is Yemeni corner, you start saying Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatan fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar till you come to the black stone. And there, the black stone, you start Bismillah Allahu Akbar. You raise your hand and Bismillah Allahu Akbar, and then you start at the black stone and go round. So after completing, then you cover again the shoulders. Some make that mistake. After they expose their right hand, even in the tawaf, even in the sa'i. The exposure of the right hand is only during the tawaf. After that, even in the salah, the 2 rakah you cover them, and then for the sa'i again you cover. Okay. So after doing the tawaf, you pray 2 rakah behind the Maqam Mahmud, Maqam Ibrahim. If there is pressure, you pray anywhere in the haram, and then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah Qul Al-Kafirun in the first rakah, second rakah Fatiha and Ikhlas in the second rakah. And then it is sunnah to point towards the black stone again and say Allahu Akbar before leaving for the sa'i. So you've gone 7, you've prayed 2 rakah, you point again to the black stone, Allahu Akbar, before going for the sa'i. So during the sa'i, you start with Safa. So when you come close to Safa, you recite from the Quran, Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah, faman hajja al-bayta aw itamara fala junah alayhi an yattawafa bihima wa man tatawwa khayran fa inna Allaha shakirun alim. Some say Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Some just stop there. Inna Safa, that's Abda bima bada bi'illah. I start with what Allah started. Abda bima bada bi'illah. Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Then at Safa you say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, facing the Qibla. Then you continue, and Safa you say La ilaha illallah. This is the main dua in Safa. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahda, la ilaha illallah anjaza wahda wa nasara abda wa hazama al-ahzab wahda. You say it 3 times in Safa. Then you make any dua. Then you continue going to Marwa. When you come to the 2 green lights, you run, you make effort. Then you go when you come to Marwa, you say the same thing again. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah anjaza wahda wa nasara abda wa hazama al-ahzab wahda. You say it again in Marwa 3 times. You make any dua. And then you come back to Safa. So each time is 1, coming back is another 1. So you start from Safa and end in Marwa. So the 7 things. And in between you make duas. And by the way, when you're doing the Safa, if accidentally your wudu breaks, you continue, because the wudu is compulsory for tawaf, but not compulsory for the umrah, for the sa'i. So this is just details on the Safa Marwa. You start at Safa and at Marwa, and in between this, you rush quickly for the men. So this applies only for the men. Have another side to do again. So the men should shave or cut their hair. Actually, some recommend cutting. If you're there for Hajj, you are going to do your Hajj, you've done your Umrah, some recommend cutting, and then for the Hajj one, you shave. You shave, you remove it, because if you shave in the Umrah, there will be no hair to shave after the Hajj if the time is short. So this is it, and then we have now the days of Hajj. The days of Hajj. After you've done your Umrah, you stay in Mecca, and then it depends how long you came, 1 week before, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But on the 8th of Zulhijjah, then now the pilgrim, you assume your ihram on the morning. For the Kiran and the Mufrid, they're already in ihram. They did not remove it. This is for the Tamattu one. So then you depart from Makkah to go to Mina before the noon. And then at Mina, as we mentioned before, you pray your Zuhr, Asr, and Maghrib and Isha. But for the Zuhr, Asr, and Isha, it is shortened from 4 to 2 rakah. But each is prayed at its time. You pray each at its time, shortened but not joined. And then you stay in Mina. Mina is you're just preparing now for the big day. You're preparing for the big day. So you rest in Mina, and overnight, then you pray Fajr, then you proceed.
سرت والشوق طريقي جئت من فج عميق إن من أركان ديني حجة البيت العتيق